Let's try it the second time. Yeah, now it looks like we are going through. Let me just have a look onto my Facebook page that I'm also visible there. Otherwise I'm talking. Nobody is able to see me. Yeah, now it's working. Lovely. Okay, so because I want to see your comments here. Good morning, everybody. I hope you had a relaxed weekend. Mine definitely was relaxing. I didn't do anything, and yeah, after all this traveling and stress and trying to juggle too many things at once, that was definitely the right thing for me to do. A little bit of gym, got a nice massage, so got spoiled. So that is good news. So, and I hope your weekend was also similar. And now we are ready to rock and roll for the next week. Okay, so if you can hear and see me, just let me know. I see there are a couple of people in there. Let me, yeah, for the newbies here, let me just explain how this is working. So I definitely will talk a little bit about the topic. You always have some opportunities to ask me questions. So I will check the comments and will answer all your questions. Good morning, Lucky. Lovely. Thanks very much. Maybe let me know from where you are joining here at the moment. And yes, and then we'll see how we can start this week. Okay. So yes, I need to keep this one open so that I can see your comments. That's lovely. Okay, agribusinesses. Maybe just in general. Okay, so agribusinesses are important for each and every country. Food security is one big aspect. Okay, so and that's why this is also important for an economy, that food security is provided for the people of this country. In this case here now I'm in South Africa at the moment. So that is an important aspect. That's also why there is, of course, finance available. And agribusinesses are separated into primary agriculture. Wilhelmo Santi, good morning from Pretoria. Monene, good morning he's from Kempton Park. Lovely. Okay. So agriculture, the industry itself is separated into two parts. That's the primary and the secondary agriculture. And the primary is everything growing, crops, vegetables, also rearing and raising rearing chickens, all the livestock, all the animals. This is all called primary agriculture. So you're growing something or you're rearing something. Okay. Then there's the second part that is called agri-processing or secondary agricultural industry, and that is where now the grain is sent through a mill to do a milli meal, or there is tomatoes are canned, or tomatoes are changed from tomatoes into tomato juice. My husband loves that one. So, and so slaughterhouses and butcheries are also then agri-processing, and there are different institutions here in South Africa. Some of them are concentrating on the first part, others are concentrating on the second part. There are a couple of things like, let me think, there were two things I wanted. Anything what has to do with fish, it depends on who will do that. And hydroponics is also something where South Africa has specific funds available. Not everybody who's doing agriculture will do hydroponic. That is a little bit shared. Izenzo is from Cape Town. Kailicha, I assume. Donald, good morning. Lovely. Okay. So, and agriculture is, at the end of the day, like every industry, you need to have some sort of expertise and experience. Okay, I'm always joking, so I would never ever be able to raise any money for growing tomatoes. When I try to do that in my own little capacity in my garden, they all die. Okay, so this is definitely, even my plants at home don't really survive. I'm not too sure if I should share that, but I don't have a green thumb. My ones at the moment are all good. I'm not too sure what I did right with them, so a friend of mine told me I need to talk to them. I try to do that on a regular basis. I hope they will survive. No, but you see, so you need to have some sort of expertise, because I remember with the tomatoes is they, out of a sudden, for me, they were all dead because of, I think, a fungus or something like that, you know, and I never ever saw it coming because I didn't know about the first indicators where we maybe would have been able to do something about it. I'm good with animals, no worries. All my animals are usually surviving with me. I can take good care of that one, but yes, plants is definitely not my strength, and that is, again, it shows you that you need expertise. You know, it looks easy. It looks like everybody can rear some chickens, everybody can grow some tomatoes. But as soon as you do that in a commercial way, in a big operation, if you don't have your fingers on the pulse, you don't see the first signs that there is something wrong, either way with the animals or with the plants, it costs you a lot of money at the end of the day. Yeah. So one thing absolutely, of course, important is make sure you have the expertise in whatever you want to do. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for failure, and we don't want that. Yeah. Again, if I would do something like this, I would definitely have then an operations manager, somebody who's really experienced. My challenge would be, how do I know if this is a good manager if I have no idea about the industry? You see what the problem is? So I wouldn't even know if this person, if he says, yes, I'm experienced farmer, if he has the experience I really need to be able to do a big commercial farm. Mpo, agriculture economist from Bella Bella. Exactly, that's somebody like I would definitely need if I want to go into any of these industries, like I said. So that's somebody I would need to partner with. Yeah. Cow, good morning. Okay. So, and this is definitely one aspect. The other aspect, and that is why there's lots of financial pressure on agricultural ventures, because you need the land. Yeah. And the property is usually expensive, and I prefer to finance agricultural ventures via land bank. Yes, they are open again. They can accept applications here at the moment. But they also have, for black-owned businesses, you can leverage long-term lease agreements as some own contribution. Yeah. So land is, for agriculture ventures, always a problem, because you need land. Without land you can't do this. You need plenty of it, and it is an expense and high, no, it's not an expense, it's a high investment, what will increase your expenses later on because of the repayment of the loan. capital repayment plus interest repayment. Yeah, so that is a little bit of a tricky part. If you find something where you can maybe lease and get some long-term lease agreements, that is a way around it. Yes, but please be aware that this puts extra pressure onto your business. Yeah, land bank is good because they can do 20-25 years for the property itself and finance it over this long term of period that can relieve the pressure for you. But yeah, still keep in mind that this is an aspect what can make it a little bit difficult. Tifako, good morning from Swartdam, Northwest. Okay, lovely to have you here. Okay, so land is a challenge then because doesn't matter primary or secondary agriculture, there are different funds out there for the different aspects. Like I said, then there is the fishery, there's the hydroponic. They are a little bit outside of the normal scope of it. We then always need to see where we can go, what finances are available. Then you need to always think about, you need the expertise. One aspect what I want you to know and be aware of it, that financing the land puts lots of pressure onto your business. That's why I would always recommend to use land bank if possible. If you can also go to other financiers, maybe then the way to have leased property is the better way to do that. Let me think what else is important for you to know. Important for you to know is also you need to have offtake agreements in place. It makes no sense to grow now all your tomatoes and nobody is buying them from you, because it's usually difficult to just grow something and then later on try to find a buyer. Because this is a commodity you need to sell fresh, and you just can't say, now I have here a couple of tons of tomatoes, let's see who wants to buy, and then you find them in 3 weeks. Okay, so you need to find them immediately. That means you need to have them usually in place before you even start growing, because you want to be sure that whatever you are planting, there will be a buyer at the end of the day. That is called offtake agreements. Also absolutely important for financiers here, and that means that you need to find, let me just think how to explain that, you need to find buyers. They will confirm that they will buy from you, preferably of course on a monthly basis. Sometimes you get agreements that they buy the whole harvest from you and that they expect, I don't know how many tons of harvest in these months. They will buy that from you. Sometimes they can also state the quality of your tomatoes or grains or maize or chickens, so chickens, sometimes it says they need to have so many kgs if you want to raise broilers. Or they pay, the buyer pays according to the size of the eggs or something like this. Can all be stated clearly in these offtake agreements. Yeah. So, and one thing, I have these discussions lots of times when I have my one-on-one consultations here. People say, it's difficult, you can't get some offtake agreements. If somebody is not willing to give you one, the chances that they will later on buy from you are quite small in any case. What I've figured out here in South Africa, most people, it's difficult to say no. For me it's easier. You tell me no, I don't want to buy, that's fine. Okay, I can live with this. But no, I can't give you this, and I first want to see the eggs and the size of the eggs and the quality of the eggs before I can even commit. And these are usually excuses. Yeah. So, and then that means for you, try again. Try the next one, try the next one until you find enough buyers. They will buy your whole harvest, all your eggs, all your broilers, whatever you want to do. Yeah. For financiers, it's important, and it's also important that these are reputable companies. So it's not your uncle, your auntie, or your sister who confirms that they will buy from you your 100,000 eggs you want to produce, but they are only selling 20 eggs a week. Yeah, because they will not be able to pay you. Keep in mind, please, whatever the financier is wanting. Sometimes people feel like these are their enemies. They are not. They are, at the end of the day, they are on your side, because if you are succeeding, they will succeed. Don't forget that. Yeah. And if they ask you for some crazy things and you think, really? I know that, no worries. I have that feeling sometimes too. When they come back to us and say, oh no, we need to have this and this and this. I think, okay. So, but what they want to do is they want to prevent that you are failing. Yeah? See it like this. They have done lots of applications, they have lots of history and experience. So, and that's why they just wanted to prevent that you are failing. And don't forget, it's an international number. 8 out of 10 startups are failing in the first, I don't know, I think year or something like this, or 1.5 years after setting up. Yeah? So your chances to fail are higher than your chances to succeed. So now, what we all want to do is we want to prevent that you are failing. You want to make sure that you are succeeding, and that means preparing your application and your startup properly to prevent the failure. That's the goal here from all parties involved. Yeah? Okay, so let me see. What did I talk about? Experience, offtake agreements. Most financiers want to have 10% own contribution. That is also valid for all the government institutions. They also want 10%. IDC, I think, even asked now for 30 to 40%, depending on the BE shareholding in this business. So you need to have a high percentage of own contribution. Number one is what they do is they want to reduce the pressure of the repayment of the loan, because you need to repay on a monthly basis. On the other side, they of course also want to see that you are committed, that you believe that this will be a success, and not saying, let's try it out, let's see if this is working. Doesn't work, doesn't matter, it's not my money. Yeah. So I want to see and make sure that you're moving your butt. Yeah. What you can do is, this is what I mentioned before already, and I just want to highlight this with the land bank has a portion of a grant included in for BE black owned businesses. Okay. And what they also can do is, if you have a long-term lease agreement, what goes over the repayment of the loan, your loan repayment 5 to 10 years, usually is a business loan, like I said, if you have a long-term lease agreement, everything what then is above the 10 years, let's say you have a 99 years lease agreement, can be taken into consideration as own contribution, because you were good, you secured the land for 99 years for lease, and that can be, I don't know how they do that, okay, but they can take this as own contribution into consideration. I just want you to know that. Yeah. Okay, so yes, and then land bank can do agriculture. That's definitely something what I would recommend. I'm not I'm sure you know that Land Bank had some problems in between, so IDC, CIFA and NEF stepped up and took on some agricultural ventures. I'm not too sure if they will still do that or if they are just happy that they can give that back to Land Bank, because you need to have also, of course, in the organization some experts who are able to assess an application. Carl, if you own the land, that's great, definitely your own contribution. Yeah? So that is your part of your own contribution. It of course needs to be freehold. That means you are not paying any bond anymore on that land, but that can count as your own contribution. Yeah. So, and depending then on, as soon as you do agro-processing, Land Bank can do some of them. Others, I would just have a look who is the best financier for you. And what we do is we usually have a look at how long they will take to finance it. We have a look at the interest rate. We have a look how long they are able to, for how long the repayment period is from the financier. Some say 5 years, others say 10 years. Land Bank can say for property 20 or 25 years. You see, so this is where we just always have a look at it and advise you then. I have an idea when we take on applications. Okay, there are a couple of options out there. And when we then go into the application process, I then have a look and say, okay, this would be at the moment the best financier. Keep in mind, we are submitting on a weekly basis usually to all the different financiers. And we have a good insight of, number one is what they are asking us now, and they are changing. You know, they're putting more and more and more documents, details onto an application. If I think about what happened here in the last 10 years, absolutely crazy. But again, what they want is they want to prevent failure, so it is in your interest. Yeah. And then we can also say, okay, so this is, they want all these documents, and I have a good idea. Okay, they are reacting fast at the moment. They are giving us headaches. These institutions. This is coming back with crazy inquiries at the moment, you know, and then we just channel it through the best option for you. Lovely. Okay, so that's definitely something what I wanted to share with you this morning. It's already close to half an hour again. If you have any questions, you can use our Facebook Messenger. Make sure, please, you use the Funding Connection Messenger. I'm really not looking usually onto my private one. Seldom. Okay. And but what I also can do is, let me just do this here. www.fundingconnection.co/contact. There's also Brent on the other side. If you can ask him some questions, he's able to guide you and tell you, okay, this is what would be your best option at the moment or your next step. If you say, I want to do, I don't know, a chicken farm or piggery or something like this, have a look also on our website. You can click even the contact link. There's a shop, okay? In the menu. In the shop we have lots of industry guides about specifically agriculture, a couple of different options where my business plan writers compiled all the information you may need to when you want to start your chicken farm, your egg farm, your piggery. I can't remember what else we have in there. Some suppliers, you know, we highlight some challenges, we highlight the opportunities, we give some tips on where to apply for funding. So I know sometimes, you know, you are good at what you're doing, but you're not so technical or analytical. So, and that's where we try just to help you to do that. Yeah? Okay. Thanks very much for your time. We will definitely see us next week, Monday again. If there's anything and any topic you want me to cover, just feel free to mention that. Either in any of our comments, you can also email it or communicate with Brent and say, hey, Dagmar, please ask Dagmar to cover this in the next webinar, and then we will definitely do that. I wish you an absolutely successful new week, and we will definitely see us latest next week, Monday again. Take good care. Bye bye.